Hello, everybody. Travis Calger back again for my class project with my family of comedians here who just find this to be hilarious. We have my wife Julie, my daughter Haley, and my son Wyatt. And we're going to talk about the new media effects and personal relationships and how they affect people in positive and negative ways. Everybody experiences these new medias differently. So I thought it would be good to have my wife's opinion, where she's a little bit younger than I am, as well as my daughter who uses social media, and my son who's coming into the social media world some, but not quite as much as my daughter. We all know how Facebook works and Twitter, then everybody has TikTok and different platforms like that where they can communicate. So, when you go into a restaurant, what's one of the first things you notice about people? Anybody?
They're always usually when they're waiting for food, they're always like on their phone and not paying no mind to anyone.
Yeah, most people are on their phones and not talking to one another. Do you talk to people when you're at the restaurant, or do you sit on your phone? At least your professional find this entertaining.
Okay. I do talk to people, but I'm usually on my phone.
Very rarely do you talk to people. You talk when people have to order from you.
I feel attacked. Sorry.
But does it mean we don't want to talk to each other just because you're on your phone?
Sometimes
I'm interacting with people.
Sometimes we do talk. It just all depends if something is more important on Facebook than sitting there looking at each other we've ridden in the car with to go eat.
Sometimes there's worldwide national scandals.
Well, the goal of this speech is to impact media or interpersonal relationships among other people. And the theoretical concept is new media affects interpersonal relationships in both positive and negative ways. The constant connecting makes us reachable at almost any moment. And at the same time, it connects us with all kinds of different people all over the world, different markets, and you can talk to different people. You can broaden your interests and things like that. And it is certainly has positives and negatives. Uh, some people use it for work, some people use it for personal, or sometimes there's a combination of both. And here's a random fact for you: 73% of people said they would panic if they lost their smartphone.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would be concerned. How about that? For myself, I use social media and new media for different things, whether it's for the fire company, for Little League, for communicating with everybody. Your teachers use that platform now for communicating with parents and stuff like that. Uh, it's a good way to share things with people. And what do you think are some of the positive impacts of being on social media and stuff like that?
I think that you can interact with more people with different culture and different languages around the world, and have like a nice interaction and talk to them.
Any other
I think
positive?
it exposes you to multiple point of views and different aspects of, and it can teach you different sides and different stories of things.
Not only that, though, those are both good, but most of the time, if you can't get to a TV and you have your smartphone and you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and like that, you can see if something has happened and be up to date faster than you can if you're at home and you're waiting for the 6 o'clock news to come on and you ended up missing it completely because you're into making dinner and you've got that in front of you ahead of time. So when you come home to your kids, you can say, "Oh, this happened on the news. What we're going to be able to see tonight at home."
Yeah, it definitely has its points like that. Do you find out things usually on social media for major events that happen, or do you find out on the news, or from me? Where do you normally hear about
Our
it first?
school uses a lot of advertising on platforms like Instagram and Twitter to reach out to students because they know they're most likely more on social media than they are paying attention to school messages or even responding to their parents.
Do you think it helps with boredom?
Yes.
Does that mean you spend a lot of time on social media?
Yes.
Okay.
You TikTok dances.
Good time filler.
No, I don't dance. I don't think that's dancing.
Do you think it connects you more with your friends? Is that a positive
Mhm.
that you would say?
I think it can create competition if you pay too much mind to it.
I think there's you can play both sides with that. You can connect with friends that you've been in high school with over the years that you've lost connection with, but also you can be on there with your friends now and they can talk to you there, but then once you get somewhere in public, they won't speak to you. Double-sided type thing. That's what's big thing.
Do you think it affects your self-esteem? For
I think
you
it has
personally?
before until I just realized not to pay attention to it anymore. But I don't necessarily know that everybody has a growth mindset to be able to do that, and it definitely has a negative persona that can influence people.
And do you guys use it to post pictures and communicate with people that way and show off things that you're proud of?
Yes, I do. Like
Most
when,
definitely.
when I shot my 8-point block that morning, I instantly posted it to show people that I shot something.
And you just post pictures of me. It's the best thing. Yeah, we know that's not true.
Opposite day.
Opposite day.
What do you think about the negative aspects?
I think
Oh.
people look to social media to seek unnecessary validation instead of the real world and reality, and often get caught up in unrealistic ideas.
So you would think instant gratification for your generation is a bad thing?
I wish less people were so caught up by social media because it takes a negative impact on their life if you don't know how to control it.
I mean, and for us, the social media really wasn't that big. Facebook had just really opened up when I was in high school, 11th grade. So with that, people were just learning how to really work through social media, and now you've got kids who are constantly tied to it, and are not just kids, adults, that you sit there and the negativity would bring you down in a hole in a heartbeat, or to pictures or something that doesn't want to be seen. We didn't have people taking pictures of us out at a party or doing something crazy, but now you're one picture away from ruining your whole life or career because someone wants to snap a picture of you.
So do you think that there's a blurry line between professional identities and personal ones on social media and sites like that?
Yes.
I think a lot of people say it's like, I don't know, it's like a model or celebrity. They don't realize a lot of editing that goes into that, a lot of effects that go into that. So then when they bring that into the personal lives and expect themselves to be like that, then they realize they're not going to own up to this perfect idea because all of this, most of it, is fake just to bring in money, to bring in followers, to bring in popularity because that's part of their career. But people might not necessarily know that that's mainly editing and Photoshop,
Yeah, and-
Facetune.
And those people work hard. I mean,
Yeah,
but there's so much that is hidden
it's unrealistic.
that, yeah.
I think it can be detrimental to somebody's health. Like a lot of people develop eating disorders because they want to look like
Just-
celebrities like Kendall Jenner, like people like that. But doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same way in person.
Mm-hmm.
A screen can't tell you the full story.
So what do you think about? Do you think, like, you're younger, do you think cyberbullying is a problem with social media?
Yeah, basically, so I would think, you post something on Instagram about something and other people would say how ugly you look and all that, but they don't really know, like, the truth, like, what's happening behind, the screen, like, what happens at home and what happens anywhere else if anyone else gets bullied.
I would agree that it's definitely a problem that exists in the world.
I think
So,
it's more so now than it would with our generation.
oh,
Because
sure.
they'll hide behind the screen in a heartbeat. They won't address it like they would with us.
So if you circle back to the restaurant, do you think that people are losing touch with each other, where they're always on their phones at the dinner table or at a restaurant?
I think it's more beneficial for you to have interaction because you can talk to people through a screen all day. Doesn't necessarily mean it's making you feel any better or anything, or that you really have a real connection with that person. If you just want to talk to somebody, your family, your friends, um, significant other, whoever, I just think most time you're going to build a better relationship and a better connection based off personal experiences, because you can think one thing through a screen and it contradicts something totally different in person.
So you mean by the way people talk, you can misunderstand something with the way the tone is, which I'm bad at. People misunderstand my messages all the time, or the use of capital letters, or wrong punctuation.
People can definitely put on a mask behind a screen, and some people can talk to you perfectly fine over the phone, and then you're in person, like Julie said, they don't talk to you, they don't recognize you, don't acknowledge you, nothing. So I think that can definitely be discouraging to others when they think that they know somebody, but they really don't know somebody.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. Do you think the quality of relationships among people is deteriorating with the increase in people becoming more obsessed with their phones?
I think so.
I agree.
Because say if you were at the dinner table and you were on your phone all the time and like not interacting with your family or any of your friends, one minute you could be talking to them, and then the next day, say, what if a car accident happened? You know, you didn't talk to them, you were just on your phone doing this and that, and now you can't talk to them tomorrow if they got in a car accident, they're severely hurt. Or
And not only that, when you go out with friends or family to go eat, and you're constantly on your phone, what's the point of going out to dinner? What's the point of going out to go see people you haven't seen in months or weeks? I mean, that's the whole point, to get back into talking to them face to face where you haven't seen them for so long. With having the phone out,
Well, I think we've brought up some really good points here of how there are positive and negative impacts when it comes to new media and social media and devices like that. It's definitely a slippery slope that everybody should pay attention to realize how it's not impacting just you, but your family and everybody else and people around you. Um, do you think you'll think about it more after this?
I definitely already think that being on my phone is a negative habit and that I try to break, and I've definitely decreased my screen time by quite a few hours. And I think I live more in the moment now than I did, and don't really pay attention to what others think anymore.
I think both of y'all do, really.
Yeah,
I don't think y'all are really on your phones that much anymore.
I try not to get caught up in that, and like social media is always going to be there. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's only going to get even more.
What's one way that you think you can make a difference or change in how you use social media
I
or
think
stuff like that?
I would take a perspective on other people and see how it might be for them and how I say things and put it together.
And how it's received.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Do you have any changes that you think you'll end up making? Can't block me, but
Just try to go with the flow, not really pay too much attention to half these things, because some people put some things on there, it's just like you turn the other page because it's not worth dealing with and everything like that.
I just think people need to make sure when they're posting something or commenting that there's a more positive aspect and you're looking at the glass half full instead of half empty, because a lot of people get tripped up in that, and then it causes social media to be a negative place when it can really be a great outlet for positive
For
effects.
resources throughout.
Yeah.
all right. Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully you guys will take away some of this and learn some of the positives and negatives for it, and can change the way that you think and others think, and go from there to help make this a better world. Thank you.